The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in to Armed Radio. My name is Shannon.
And I am Mr. Bill.
And we are your hosts for Talk Live Paranormal tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and give you the shout out to the troops.
Hey, we want to just do this like we start every show. We want to send a shout out to all the troops that are out there, all the people that have served, and still are serving. We want to thank you very, very much for your service. Without you guys, we couldn't be free to do what we're doing right now. So thank you very much. Come home safe. Keep your head down. And we'll be shouting out to you every week here. So listen.
Amen. Thank you all for your service. And we got to give a big, huge shout out to Henry and all the guys
Mr. Henry.
in the warehouse.
What's happening, Henry?
No forklifts,
Henry.
Crazy driving.
Yeah, don't wreck these crazy forklifts. Henry, keep them in line. Use a taser if you have to.
And tonight we have a special guest, a dear friend of mine, who is also works for Ghost Hunts USA. And we also have a paranormal team outside of Ghost Hunts USA, but we are going to go ahead and bring in my bestie, Miss Beth Moore.
Hey,
Beth.
hey.
Hey, girl.
Hey, thanks for having me on tonight.
You're welcome.
Not a problem.
So, let's see. What should we start with? Bill, you worked this past weekend, correct, at Missouri?
Yep, Missouri State Pen.
How was your guys' weekend out there?
It was good. It was hotter than hot. Yeah. We had a lot of activity on it, and it's weird because, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it seems like it's getting more active down there. And it seems like throughout the year, it just seems to be getting more active wherever we go.
Yeah.
We had a lot of activity in the on Death Row was very active, and especially down in the dungeon area.
Right.
That was amazingly active. It was kind of almost freaky. Just to
freaky. You always get activity down in the dungeon, though.
Well, yeah, but this was almost mean active. Like it was affecting several people in really weird ways where people just they actually had some people leave after the first vigil because they're like, if this is as much activity as we're going to get, then we've seen enough, we're done, and they left. So yeah, it was. Beth, do you remember that EVP you caught down there? That was
yes.
It was like that.
Ooh.
It was constantly, no matter who was down there, when they were down there with the lights on, now the lights off. It was just like that.
Which EVP are you talking about?
Well, I think it was me and Ashley Lucky, right? That was in the building with you.
Yep.
And we were rotating. I was taking a group down to the dungeon, and then whenever we would switch groups, then she would take everybody down to the dungeon. Well, I had one of my groups down there. The first 3 rotations, no problem, no issues, was getting, decent responses, nothing major. And, this was the building where they actually housed the coloreds. And we had one man in our group that was colored. And I put him in one of the rooms. I turned on the digital recorder. I said to the man that I seen walking towards me, just come up and simply tell me what your name is. Say hi. Something nice. And it comes back with this god-awful, like, hair-curling scream.
Oh.
Just a, and it wouldn't stop. Like, it literally screamed over top of my next question. You couldn't even hear me ask my second question.
Is this the one you guys were talking about where you guys thought that it might have been like the guy didn't have a tongue?
Yes.
Like the spirit didn't have a tongue?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep, him.
And that's why it came out and sounded like that?
Yes, absolutely. So we come back upstairs, that group did, and me. And I had Bill play it over the loudspeaker. And Ashley Lucky looks at me and says, I am not going back down there.
Played it over the loudspeaker, like where we do introductions?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I played it over the loudspeaker for everybody, so that way they could, like, I played that one and then the next one, so they can see that this wasn't just a screw up on the recorder, but this was actually something that we caught, and it was wicked crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it would just send chills up your body.
So we had another one happen down there, not down in the dungeon, but up in the main area. I took the white box over there and hooked it up, and it kept saying message. And I said, okay, you have a message for someone in this room. Is it a male in this room? And it said nothing. And I go, oh, is it a female? And it's just a blatant yes.
Oh, wow.
I go, okay, is it in the first row? And it goes, first row plus 2.
Oh, okay.
I was like, so I
third row.
turned my light on, went back to the third row, thinking, okay, how many females do I have back here? I'm like, perfect. There's only 2. Perfect. So this is going to work. I go, what's your name? She goes, Nicole. I go, what's your name? Nicole. Crap. Not what I wanted. Right. So but the one lady goes, I go by Nikki. I'm like, okay, we'll break it up that way. I looked at the other lady. I go, do you have any nickname you go by? She goes, Nicole. Okay. So I go, is the message for Nicole? And all it said was Nikki.
Oh, wow.
So we started talking, and it kept talking about Nikki. I go, why do you want to talk to her? Pretty.
Ooh.
Okay. And I go, Nikki, would you come up here and talk with us right up front? She came up and sat down, and it kept going, message for you. Message. I go, what message do you have for Nikki? And it said it said something, and I kind of turned it down real quick, and I go, who all heard what that just said? Because she may not have heard it sitting right next to the box. And I said, whatever you guys heard, I'm going to count to 3. I'm going to say what I heard, and you guys say what you heard. And I went 1, 2, 3, and we all went, you're pregnant. So I turned it back up and said, are you trying to tell Nikki that she's pregnant? Yes. And it just all of a sudden it just kept saying it over and over. She's got this wide-eyed look on her face. And actually the funny part, and I hate to say it was even funny, because the guy she was with, they were on their 3rd date.
Oh my God.
So she goes, it's impossible. And his eyes are real wide. And she actually goes, I need to leave. I need to go outside. So she went outside, went out front and had a cigarette, then came back in, and we used holy water, sage water, everything on her. She goes, now I'm leaving. And they just left. I mean, it was on free time. So.
Okay. Wow.
I wouldn't have left. I mean, it's probably an awkward situation, but
right.
I don't think I would have left.
I bet you she didn't get a 4th date either.
Oh, Jesus.
So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff we were getting. Over in Death Row, there was crawlers and creepers creeping up on people and scaring the shit out of people.
I know that feeling.
But it was fun.
Oh, my gosh.
I had a very similar incident happen when I was at Ashmore Estates. Was that 2 weekends now ago? And, as Shannon knows, I've only been there one other time, and that was during an event. It wasn't even a Ghost Hunts USA event. So this was the first time at Ashmore.
Oh, okay.
So this was the first time I'd actually worked an event at Ashmore. And I don't really know much about the history. I mean, I know what the building was. It was a poorhouse, and it turned into a hospital. It was multiple different things. But to know, like, the deaths or, the claims, that was just something that I chose not to know, just in case I started picking up on stuff. People wouldn't think, oh, well, it's because she already knew it. And I was standing there hallway, and I had all the guests kind of sitting down in chairs, semi-circled, looking down the hallway. I turned and looked at Hannah, which is the person that runs the history tours and things like that there. I said, do you know what a crawler is, or a creeper, or whatever you call it? She goes, yeah. I said, did you know that you have one here? And she said, well, I've had people tell me that we have, but nobody that I would really trust. Well, I'm telling you right now.
We've told her there were crawlers. Stan and I saw crawlers.
Well, I think it's because she's never seen it herself.
Oh, I got you.
Personally seen it. And I said, well, I'm telling you right now, you do. Excuse me. And she's like, really? I said, yeah, you really do. And we kept watching, and I said, just watch down here. Give it 5 minutes and just watch. And I ended up getting like distracted talking to a guest because they wanted to know if so and so was here with them, and all of a sudden Hannah lets out this blood curdling scream.
Hannah did?
Yes. And I was like, what? And she goes, I seen it. And I was like, okay. Okay, it's okay. I said, you know what? They're not going to hurt you. They're more curious than they are anything else.
Right.
And, you know, a crawler is something that's non-human, but it's not demonic. You know, it's, yeah. So that was interesting. It was interesting to see her see it for the first time. I guess I got used to them at Randolph. It was just second nature.
You said Robin wasn't there, right? Was he at RCI? Yeah,
that's right. Robin was at Randolph that weekend for an event while I was at Ashmore.
Taylor, last time I took Taylor up to Ashmore, it was when it was really, really cold, and we ended up like leaving and getting that hotel room like early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But we actually went for the first time, and you know I've been out there a couple times with you, but
yeah,
we actually went to the cemetery and found the little girl that burned in the fire's headstone.
Anna was going to take us to that, and it ended up being rainy and crappy, and we didn't end up going.
Well, if you've seen the picture that's hanging on the wall, and you would think the headstone's probably at least 3 or 4 foot tall by looking at that picture, am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's literally like less than 2 feet off the ground.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it took us forever to find it. But we found it. It was pretty neat to go see. And then, what, Bill?
No, go ahead.
I don't know what I was going to say. I'm just talking.
Well, I was gonna do this. So Beth, Shannon and I kind of know the story, the kind of somewhat of the history, but for the people who are listening, how did you get started in the paranormal investigations?
Oh God, from the beginning, huh?
Here we go.
Dun, dun.
Don't I get a sound effect with that?
Oh wait, all right, hold on, I'll get you one. Okay, so how did you get started in the paranormal?
I love it. Well, I was 6 years old.
I was waiting for you to say it started on a rainy night.
Yeah, it did on Halloween night. And there was this man outside my window with a mask. I dare go outside.
I know that movie.
No, actually, I was 6 years old, and I was sitting down in my family room next to my papa, and he was living with us at the time, and he had an old rocking chair in the corner that was his mother's, and it started rocking on its own. And I looked over, and my papa just real nonchalantly said, "Oh, don't worry, that's my mom." And at first I was kind of like, oh, you know, he sees her too. And I was able to describe her, what she was wearing, how her hair was done up, and, you know, her facial features. And I asked him, you know, you see her too? And he says, no, I just know it's her. And he dug through a bunch of old photos and pulled out a picture and said, you know, this is who you saw? I said, yeah, that's her. And it never really made sense to me, but thank God it was something that my family always accepted. I was never shunned or looked at like, oh, you know, you're crazy. Well, okay, by my immediate family, I guess I could say. I wasn't looked at like I was insane, but I kind of shut that down. I always could feel and sense, but I didn't want to see. It scared me too bad. You know, it was a huge fear. So I'd always be able to tell when there was something around or something was going to happen. I knew the moment my grandmother passed away and I wasn't even anywhere in her vicinity. I called and woke my family up to tell them she had passed. And they, you know, then checked her and she was gone. I knew when I was going to get into a car accident. My ex was driving. I was looking down at a newspaper and I just said to myself, well, it's convenient that I got this paper because when we crash, my body won't be tensed up because I'm distracted. And sure enough, he made a left-hand turn across the road. Well, Shannon knows where this is, into Catalina Trailer Park. And there was a car coming towards us at 55 miles an hour and T-boned on the passenger side where I was sitting.
Ouch!
Yeah, split my skull. But I wasn't, I didn't see it coming, so I wasn't tightened up. And they said that's why I didn't break anything other than, the crack in my skull. But that was from my window wing that I split that open on. But it then continue on. I was very curious, but I never had anybody that really wanted to do this with me. And until I begged Shannon. I spent a lot of girls' nights with some of my friends where I'd bring my digital recorder over and we'd ask questions, and some of them were like, come on, let's go to the bar. I'm like, no. We're getting good stuff. Let's go to a cemetery.
I didn't get invited to those nights, FYI.
I know. Shannon was my other girls' nights. They were a different group. It's one of those moments when friends are either going to join well together or collide, and that would have been a collision. It just is not. That group is just not a personality group. I knew better, but I spent plenty of times with Shannon. But yeah, so there was an event coming up, and I looked at Shannon and I said, "You are going with me." She's like, well, it'd be cool to meet Chad Lindbergh. And I'm like, exactly, let's do this. And my very first real investigation with real investigators, I ended up getting scratched up my back at Crown Point Jail. And it went under, God, what? I had two shirts
on, a backpack, your bra strap.
Yeah, it went all the way from my waistband all the way up underneath of my bra strap. It looked like a snake tongue. It was wicked.
Wow.
Yeah, I was hooked. After that, I was hooked. And I started investigating at Poasttown Elementary School, which was actually my elementary school. And we caught some of our best evidence there, which I know Shannon's played a lot of that for the listeners and stuff. Amazing. So we formed BAB Paranormal, which is Badass Bitches Paranormal.
What?
We are badass bitches. We'll go where anybody will go.
And guys are welcome too. They're just considered badass bros.
Exactly. Currently, we are, though, an all-female paranormal team.
Yeah.
But that's where Shannon and I met.
Just the two of us.
Yes, the whole.
Whoa, slow down.
Two of us. Well, your daughter and my niece.
Yeah, but they're so busy with being teenagers that,
What are you saying, Shannon?
That they thought it was cool when they were like 13 years old, and Shayla was, 15 and 16 when we started this? Yeah. And now that they're...
Shayla's going off to college.
Yeah. And mine's a sophomore in high school, like, paranormal, what? Yeah. I ask Taylor all the time, you want to go to Poasttown? You want to go investigate? No. I don't want to leave my room.
It's dark in here. There's YouTube.
It's exactly YouTube, Netflix, or the Fire Stick.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't exist anymore.
Shayla begs me all the time, and I'm like, we'll do something.
Well, Poasttown, Beth has I believe a public event coming up on July 13th.
Really?
And I'm kidless.
Are we working now?
Friday the 13th. I don't know.
That's the question at hand.
I need to get the schedule together for Tyler. Speaking of Tyler, I want you to tell the story you just told us in the lobby. In the lobby. And I love you, Tyler, if you're listening, but this shit is funny. I'm sorry.
So you have to explain where we might be what the event is first.
Yes.
Very true. So we have an event coming up in September at the Abandoned Lake Shawnee Amusement Park, which is a Ghost Hunts USA event. And right now there's a sale on the tickets. Might want to grab them up as quick as possible. It's on 80 acres. And so our boss is British. So don't hate me for my horror interpretation, but so we were
very
talking,
close though.
It is close. We were talking and I said, oh my God, I would love to go and do that location. That would be phenomenal. And he says, but there's no buildings and it's a sleepover. We have to sleep there. And he said, I don't do tents, so I'm going to have to get a Winnebago.
Not a Winnebago.
Not a
Oh,
Winnebago.
Winnebago.
A Winnebago.
Winnebago.
A Winnebago.
Maybe the
Right.
dingo ate your baby.
Hey, just so you guys know, I know nobody can see me because I'm not on video, but I just had this brilliant white orb come towards me. I'm sitting in my office right now, and I think it might be Tyler.
He's coming.
Sorry,
He's
Tyler.
coming to get you.
Stay out of my apartment. You can visit Beth.
He just sent something to me like,
Beth,
But it
I'll
was-
kick-
Winnebago. You're saying it wrong.
Winnebago. I don't
If you
do
get-
tents. I'm going to have to buy a Winnebago.
it's a place to store his black sacks.
Yes, those big black sacks.
Black sacks. Jesus. Well, I got a question for you, Beth.
Oh, yes, I love questions.
Even though the three of us work for Ghost Hunts, and we're all Ghost Hunts USA employees,
Mhm.
I want to know from you what do you think makes GHU different from any other ghost hunt or event that it is ran outside of our company?
Oh, that's a really good question. Well, I mean,
Dumped.
not at all. We're a very structured business. We're a very structured group of people, and I mean, for example, just the way our events run, we all get together, we do our introduction. I love that's one of my favorite parts. We break into groups. We then go off and investigate with rotations. We have scheduled breaks. We have a scheduled start time, a scheduled end time. Very, very structured. And a lot of other places they're not like that. But we're a family. We're one.
Amen.
We're one big family. Even though, me and Shannon have BAB Paranormal, and other people. Well, Bill, for example, have Riverside Iowa Paranormal.
Yep.
Even though we have those outside things, those outside groups, when we're at a Ghost Hunts USA event, it's a Ghost Hunts USA event. That's what brings us all together.
Right.
I don't know. I love my job. Absolutely.
Who doesn't love their
my
job?
Oh, heck yeah.
But if we, for example, if you go to Ashmore Estates event and you see how we run Ashmore Estates, you should be able to walk into Missouri State and see it ran the same way. You should be able to walk onto the Queen Mary event and see it ran the same way. You should walk onto the Lake Shawnee event and see it ran the same way. And that's what I mean by structured.
Basically, any of our locations.
Absolutely. Any single one of our locations, we have all been trained to run them the same way.
Right.
But yeah, introductions, that gives the people a chance to get to know who we are, what we're about. If it's me and Bill and Shannon standing up there, you're going to get to know a little bit about Bill and where his history and background comes from, and a little bit about Shannon and a little bit about me. And the guests get to connect with that. They may have had a similar experience. Now they're going to feel more comfortable going into a dark dungeon with you and, saying, okay, this girl or this guy, they know their shit. They've been through it. They've seen it. They've been, investigating for this long with this much experience. And I feel a little bit safer going in there with them versus, hi, I'm Beth. Okay. Are you guys ready?
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But all they're going to learn about me is I suck at talking in front of big groups of people, and my face turns red, and I start repeating myself, and then I just kind of forget what I'm supposed to be saying, and then just turn it over to whoever's next in line.
You're wrong. You used to kick ass at the introductions at Randolph. Girl.
Well, at Randolph, yeah, because that was like our home away from home. That was like my home, technically.
How many people do you guys have at Randolph?
Oh my gosh, it varied. We could have up to 80 some people there easily.
Cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
there was a couple weekends where we had to do 5 rotations, and I mean, you only got 4 floors at Randolph, so if the weather was okay, you could improvise and, have a group outside too, but I mean, the 2 times that we did try it, it was windy as all get out, or one night it stormed.
Right.
And sound travels easily in that building. If you're anywhere near stairwells on each floor, you can hear the people above you or below you.
Yeah. Horribly bad. Horribly bad. Oh, one other thing, because I forgot about this part. There are other event companies out there that only get volunteers. So that also makes us unique because we are paid employees,
Yep.
of this company. I'm not going to name drop other event companies, but there are other event companies that do not pay the people to work them. And that, it's going to sound horrible, but that we put more into it. We work, we bust our ass. We don't come there and just want to play and have fun and not make it about you. We make it about our guests. This is their experience.
And as long as Ashley's pushing Tyler down the steps, we really bust our ass.
That's true. That's true. Damn it, Ashley Lucky. I was on the phone with her tonight, and I was actually on the phone with a whole group of them in the car, and something that came up on my radio show last night was, we were doing a rapid quick fire question game with Pam, and Charlotte threw in there and said, Beth or Tyler. And Tyler was on the phone with us. And Pam's like, I said, it's okay, Pam. I know who you need to say. So they did that to me tonight, Pam or Andrew, Beth? I was like, well, Andrew and I have I've known him longer. We have a different connection, but Pam and I have another connection. And Andrew's like, but we have a sexual connection, Which Shannon understands, and
yes,
Bill
I
understands
totally
why I'm
understand.
laughing because, this is, I'm definitely not his type. And, definitely not. And then after we go through with everybody else in the car, I just stopped because Ashley Lucky was the only one that did not ask. And I said, but Ashley Lucky is my number one favorite of all of you. And the car just went nuts. They just lost it. Every one of our employees are unique. And they're different, and they're so fun to investigate with. Every experience is different with each guest or with each employee. It's really cool. It is. It's really cool. I love what we do. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. And Tyler, you're my number one. If you're listening, you're always my number one.
You're our number one.
Yeah, you're all of our number one.
And we actually lucked out when we got hired in.
Very much so.
Shortly after when we got hired in, Tyler and them started doing a video, kind of like a video, a hiring video. Yeah. A hiring video where you had to basically do like a 5-minute video of yourself and explain to them and use your sense of humor and, be funny, because that's what Tyler looks for. It's not all serious all the time. You got to have fun with it.
Personality.
Of course, yeah.
So Beth and I lucked out to where, we got hired in before he started doing the videos. Although I have a feeling that our video would have been pretty badass.
Oh, of course. Of course.
We
got to meet him. We got to meet him personally.
This is true.
I think that's where we went the right way. And we didn't have to do a video because we just were face to face, and he just said, I want to hire you guys. And Shannon and I look at each other like, what?
What's happening?
What are you talking about? Hire
We're just here to sweep post town floors because they got an event coming up in a week.
Cleaning and
You're gonna give us a job, like doing what we love to do?
Yeah, we can travel and what?
It was like 2 months. I think it was like 2 months later we were hired in. We did one
working interview.
Yeah, working interview. Which that weekend was just crazy.
Oh my god, that weekend was insane.
We went to, and it was scheduled for, I thought it was scheduled for like July or something, but it was April. And we had a big powwow going on. It was me, you, Charla, Justin,
Spurrier, Ronnie.
Ronnie. Was that all of us? Was it just like 5 of us?
Yeah, it was the 5 of us.
We went and investigated at Randolph County Asylum on Thursday night.
Yes.
Then we left Friday around noonish, I think, and headed over to Atlanta, Indiana, and investigated Rhodes Hotel.
Which we seen Tyler. He came in to set up for Friday night's event. We seen him before we were leaving.
Oh, yeah.
To Rhodes. Yeah.
And that they went and got something to eat.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to stay at Rhodes Hotel Saturday night too, but Justin and Charla had like a 12-hour drive, something like that.
Yes.
And so they actually headed out. So Ronnie left
called.
too.
Yeah, we got called. And
For Randolph?
Yeah.
No, we called them, remember? We were like, we just wanted to know if we could do our come back and do our working interview this weekend, and they said yes. So we drove back to Randolph County Asylum.
That's right.
And did our working interview that Saturday night, and then headed out Sunday, and then shortly after that, we was pretty much hired in.
Yeah. What a jacked up working interview that was. The two that they had us training with. I mean, and this literally was our working interview. And I'm going to Tyler like, if you expect me to do what this person just did, then this isn't the job for me. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
Which I'm so glad that that Shannon and I did approach him, because the guy that was in the basement, I mean, he was too scared to even go down the hallway. He was too scared to take the group down the hallway.
And the group was like,
can we go?
What, like 40, 50, 16-year-old women? There was no men in the group. There was a bunch of older women. Yeah.
And he said, it's not safe. It's not safe. And I said, I'll take him down. If you don't want to take him down, I'll take him down there. No.
Yeah, they kept asking Beth and I to take him to the kitchen and can we go down the hallway? And we're like, no, we're doing what he tells us to do.
We're kind of training right now. And he's like, whatever you do, don't go into this first room to the left. So what's he do? He starts taking the group down, and he stops and goes into the first room to the left.
Wait, hold on. What?
Oh, yeah, he took the whole group into that room after he said that.
Yeah.
We can't go there. It's too dangerous. Hey, come on, let's go there.
Yeah, exactly. I won't walk you down the hallway, but let me take you in a room I told you to never go into. And like all of us couldn't fit in there, so half of us are standing in the hallway. And all of a sudden, you hear him start screaming. I am allowed to cuss on here, right?
Yes, you are.
Wait, okay. So he starts screaming, "You fucking cunt! Come at me! Come on, you fucking bitch!" And
fucking
like
bastard.
Shannon said, 50, 60-year-old women, and
they all looked at
us like, "What did he just say?"
We're like, we don't know.
We're like, what the sale? So I'm like, okay, guys, come on. Let's go down. And me and Shannon took off with half the group. I'm like, forget this. Let's go. And we took off down there towards the kitchen, and he finally come out. I went upstairs. I was fuming. I said, I don't know what you want me to do, but it's not that. And Tyler was like, no, I would never expect anybody to have that experience. So needless to say, that employee no longer works with us. And
well, it took a while. It took a while.
It did.
Because he actually was, he was only, 18 years old when we met him.
Yes.
And he did mature a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit.
A teeny bit.
Yeah, but then it didn't work out.
Okay, Beth, I just got another question for you.
Ooh, sweet.
What was it? What is your dream place to hunt?
Ooh.
Oh, Lord. We ain't got all night.
Not, and it doesn't have to be a Ghost Hunt USA place, but if you could go anywhere in the world, where would be your dream place to hunt?
The Stanley Hotel, where they shot The Shining.
That's the one we can't do anymore, right?
And I think that's what makes me want to do it that much more.
That's Stanley's, where they stopped all paranormal investigations and stuff a couple years ago, or 3 or 4 years ago.
Fortunately, yes. There's so many. Oh my gosh, I have so many. I mean, believe it or not, I live in Ohio. I'm only a stone throw away from Waverly, but I've never done Waverly. I would love to do Waverly.
Shannon, you've never been there, have you, Shannon?
Nope. That was on our bucket list.
Road.
Yeah. I mean,
road
there's
trip.
So many. I did fulfill one of my dreams, which was to do the Queen Mary. I did get to do that. Yeah.
Not fair.
Without me.
Yeah. I wish I could have. I wish I could have taken you. If it wasn't Charla's business trip,
I know.
I totally would have taken you.
Yeah, they got to go to they went and during the Nick Groff tour.
Yeah,
we
went to the Nick Groff tour on the Queen Mary. It was phenomenal. Which Ghost Hunts USA is there this weekend. They're doing. And
what the hell?
Yeah. oh my God, I want to go everywhere. Everywhere. I want to do everything and everywhere. I don't have a favorite, and I don't have a top of the list, really, because I just want to experience it all.
What was the scariest thing that's ever happened to you that made you step back and wonder why you're still doing this?
Had a few of those too.
Yeah. I mean, so far, anybody who's ever gone to this location usually has a story like this from there. Thank God in my opinion, thank God it's no longer open and running. But Old South Pittsburgh Hospital in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, that place was just wrong. Wrong.
In so many ways.
Yes, the hospital was built in a Indian burial ground. Dug into the side of an Indian burial ground and built there. And without removing the remains. And
wow.
Oh, yeah. At 6 p.m., they would shut the double doors of the psych ward, put a chain through the handles and a padlock, and leave. Come back at 6 a.m. because they didn't have enough money to pay staff to be there for 2 shifts. There was murders and hangings and overdoses and all kinds of stuff that happened. Births and deaths, just natural causes, all of that is all wrapped up inside this building, and it is just a stirring pot for evil. It is that. There are good souls there, but evil trumps all. And Dana was there for this experience.
Yeah.
We were standing in the hallway, and one of our other investigators, or a friend of ours, was asking questions using a flashlight. And I told him at the time, I said, there's a little old lady who just wheeled in a wheelchair. He said, can I go down and put a flashlight by her? And I said, yes. She says, it's fine. It's the flashlight. He said, he asked me where. I said, right there. He sits it down. And for those of you who don't understand flashlight communication, somehow it possibly could be manipulated by connecting it with your energy and moving away. It disconnects it. So it turns on the light, turns off the light. You can use it for no. So Josh says to me, I want you to answer before the flashlight turns on. I'm like, sure. So he'd ask a question, I'd say yes, boom, flashlight come on. And he'd ask it to turn off, and he'd ask the same question again. I'd say yes, boom, flashlight would come on. This went on, 20 minutes or so, Shannon?
Yeah, for a little while.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I just, gasped. At that time, this little old lady who was sitting in a wheelchair, her head morphed into a wolf. And I was like, holy fuck, I'm not talking to a little old lady. I don't know what the hell I'm talking to right now. Later, we ended up going up on the 3rd floor. And I have Shannon.
Yeah, that was fun. This one's fun.
I have Shannon. I said, I want you to sit in this chair facing this hallway. I'm going to turn my chair the opposite direction and sit next to you. So we were basically side by side, but looking down opposite hallways.
She tested me. She tested me.
I did. And at that time, I'm leaned over top of Shannon's lap, and she's like, what are you doing? I said, that wolf is sitting next to me right now. And it was like, if any of you guys have seen Twilight, the Twilight saga, like Jacob that turns into the freaking werewolf, that's how big this thing was. And it was mind-blowing. And Shannon looks over, she goes, yeah, I see a big black mass. I'm like, yeah, he's breathing on me. That's
on the other side of you, though. And I'm facing another hallway. Look at it. I don't even, how did we describe it that night? It was it looked like one of those old tribal people with the big wooden mask thing on or something.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
At the other end of the hallway. So while she's leaning into me with a dog breathing in her face, I'm leaning into her there's something down here at the other end of the hallway, because we're looking down 2 separate hallways.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, it's some guy with this weird tribal mask thing on that's jumping around.
He's doing some kind of weird dance or something, or
maybe the wolf was trying to protect you from the tribal guy.
No, there was something worse than both of them there. I'm trying to make shit up.
Give me a chance here.
I know.
There was something way worse.
Way worse. Yes, and then something else worse comes in, right?
Tell him what Tyler does.
Okay, so Chad Lindbergh, if you've never investigated with him, do it, because he is freaking fun. He is so much fun. Yes, he's so fun. So he's lost his ever-loving mind in this building. And he's screaming, "Show me the monkey! Not show me the money! Show me the monkey!" And he's running up and down the hall. Ooh, ah, crazy shit. And then all of a sudden, through our device, it says, "He's coming."
And everybody just got quiet.
Yeah, I look at Tyler. I look at Shannon. Tyler starts saying the Lord's Prayer. "Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is." And he's saying it so fast.
Then we all started saying it.
I'm saying it. Shannon's saying it. Out of nowhere, Pam shows up. She's saying it. Out of a different hallway, Leslie shows up. She's saying it. We all end up in this massive huddle. Dog is gone. The tribal dude is now gone. Something darker all around us. That right there made me go, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing?
It literally felt like you were in the opening of a portal.
Yes.
Is what I would compare it to. Like, because it didn't matter. There was 3 or 4 different openings, the hallways, and your head was on a swivel. And it felt like you were spinning because there was so much that was all around.
100%. It was wicked.
It was crazy that night.
Wow.
That made me question if, why am I seeking answers? Because this is not what I want to know. I want to know good shit. I want to know, fucking, not Wicked Witch of the West. I want to know, Glinda, or whatever her name was, from Wizard of Oz, the good pink witch.
The nice witch.
Yes. I want to fucking talk to her. Not flying monkeys. It was crazy.
I would have to say that was probably my same butthole pucker moment.
Yeah.
So if the yellow brick road took him to the wizard, where'd that red road go?
The Old South Pittsburgh Hospital.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Old South Pittsburgh.
You know what's crazy though? Now that it's shut down and this building is not getting fed the energy that we were basically feeding it every weekend with groups of people, right?
Yeah.
I was on the phone with Charlotte and she was coming home from a business trip. Now Charlotte is she's, I don't like calling her my co-host because it's not my show, it's not her show, it's our show.
Like Bill and I.
Yes,
we're both
exactly.
Hosts.
So she's my para-host is what we call her. We call each other. So she's my para-host. And she was traveling home and something flew off the back of this truck and slapped up underneath of her car. It scared the shit out of her. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to get off the road and make sure it didn't, puncture something under the car where I'm leaking." And the next exit was Old South Pittsburgh Hospital exit.
Holy crap.
South Pittsburgh.
It wanted her.
Exactly. She called me in a panic. "You are not getting off the fucking phone with me. I am going to stay." I'm like, "Why did you stop? Why did you stop? I would have kept going to the next exit." "Oh, I felt like I needed to." I said, "Yeah, no fucking shit. She's been there. It's used to her energy. So it's like, hey, come on back."
So, I guess that kind of makes me ask the question, why does that happen? Why is it sometimes, like we were down there in Missouri, or we were down in the Sally house, it's almost like at one point in time, something, for some reason,
events leading up to it.
Well, no, I wanted to go away from the group and go to a different area by myself. It was almost like something in my brain was telling me, get off, go over here.
Single you out and fuck with you. Single you out.
It was like that on our way to the Bel Air house, remember?
Yes.
The town, oh hell, I can't remember the name of the town, but I had to go to the bathroom or something, or get something at CVS, and we pulled off into a town that was, 15 minutes, 20 minutes away from the Bel Air house, and my front wheel bearing and my front end of my pickup truck went out. And we made it to the Bel Air house, and Beth we both worked Friday night, and then Beth had to leave Saturday morning, and I ended up having to do the Bel Air house by myself Saturday night.
Right.
But as we got up there and we were talking to Kristen, who runs the Bel Air house, she said that the name of the town where we actually pulled off to stop, that people say that all the time. They pull off into that town and something happens. Their vehicle breaks down, or when they're on their way to the Bel Air.
Well, remember what happened to my car last time we were going to Old South? When my
Yeah.
freaking plugs fouled out in my
Yeah.
car.
I
Wow.
thought her car was gonna die.
Oh, I thought it was done. I'm like, what the hell? We're halfway there, and it was only almost like my car going, bitch, turn around. Turn
And
around.
this was
Why
a
are you
trip
going
where
there?
we weren't working. We were just going down to hang out with other staff members for their working event
Like
that weekend.
idiots.
What?
Like stupid idiots we were.
Yeah, we just went for fun. Beth says, I'm never going back to that place. We had both been one time, and she swore up and down she was never going back to that place. But of course, Chad said the same thing.
True.
And so, all of us decided, well, to hell with it. We're going to all go back. And then that was just a really screwed up weekend.
Yeah, because that's the weekend I had all that experience that made me go.
That's also the Friday night was the night my Periscope lit up in our damn hotel room, and I didn't even know it was on, remember?
Oh my God, yes, it was supposed to be shut off and we couldn't get our TV to work. We're sitting on a hotel desk, she's on hers, I'm on mine. All of a sudden the Periscope starts lighting up. Boop, 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 boop. Colors, and we're like, oh, hell no.
And
Not
then
where
she
we're
saw the
sleeping.
TV. You saw the TV, like, tilt or something.
Yeah, the TV tilted, like, towards us. I mean, I sat there and I kept whipping my head back and forth, like, did I do that? Like, did I move my head weird? And I kept looking, Shannon's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, something either just passed by that TV or that TV just moved. We couldn't figure out
I'm
which
sitting there
one.
wondering how the hell the Periscope's on because I never turned it on. I'm like, why is it going off? I took a picture of it.
Okay, Shannon, remember I told you what happened at the McInerney Villa with my wedding ring?
Yes.
And the white box?
Yes.
So Beth, we were doing we had it 3 weeks ago now. We were at the McInerney, and my wedding ring disappeared off my hand.
What?
And I mean, it was just standing there. I'm looking down, going, my ring is gone, and it doesn't come off easily.
Right.
So I was like, it'll show up. Let's just, everybody kind of keep an eye out on the floor or something. I figured, maybe it's too sweaty, it was too hot, it just slipped off.
Mm-hmm.
So then we were down. So we went and did a couple little things. And then we moved a bunch of people to the basement, and we're down there, and things are going on. And I was like, I told Drew, who was one of our guys on our team, I said, Drew, go get upstairs and get the white box. Bring it down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try it. So he goes upstairs and grabs it. And the best part of this whole thing is that he came up through the kitchen into the dining room, and there was two ladies videotaping, and all the lights are off. And now Drew he walks very quietly.
Right.
And he just shows up in front of them and scares the living crap out of them, which they at first didn't like, but then they thought it was funny as hell.
Right.
And he goes, hey, we're going to take the computer and the white box downstairs. If you guys want to come down, it's really active down there.
Mm-hmm.
So in his left hand, he grabs my computer. In his right hand, he just scoops up the white box and starts bringing it down. When he goes to hand it to me, my ring is on the crystal, the tall crystal. It's just sitting on there. It freaked me the hell out. So not only that, but last weekend we decided to bring the white box out later. Right, this was right before that told the lady that she was pregnant.
Uh-huh.
But I picked it up out of the back of the vehicle and started walking with it, and I had turned it on just so it could start warming up while I was walking from where we normally park up in the check-in area.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm going along, there's nothing hooked to it. There's no computer hooked or nothing. It starts talking.
Oh,
all
lovely.
on its own. And the only. And I was going, now I'm hearing things. And one of the ladies goes, that box just said, hurry up. I go, I know it did. I didn't want you guys to hear it. And I was like, it's not hooked to anything. So I'm walking up, and as it gets close to Amy, it starts growling.
Oh, wow.
And and we passed by Amy, it stopped. I went back to her again, it did it again.
Dang. That's weird.
I know.
Weird. Dan and I had a similar thing like that in the basement, Randolph.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, my device said, or actually it came through the speaker and said, deactivating. We've never heard that before, and all of a sudden my device shuts down. Like shuts completely down on its own. And you can still hear talking through the speaker. And it was like
and it was shut down.
Yes,
it was shut down.
Completely shut down. Like my whole entire tablet was shut off. No power. And the speaker starts talking. And it sounded like a doctor and a nurse arguing back and forth, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
It was it went on for probably 5 minutes. We're just standing there like, what the hell is going on right now? I could not get my device to turn back on, could not get it to reload. I finally went down the basement. I said, can you please, whoever deactivated this, can you reactivate it? I need it for more rotations. Sure enough, we went back upstairs and it came right back on, didn't it?
It did, and when Beth had she had the Phasma box first, and then when I bought the Phasma box too, for some reason, for the longest time, we could not both have them on. Like, she couldn't have hers on 2 floors above me, and I could not have mine on. Like, one of them would not work.
Yeah. Weird.
Wow.
Weird.
That's RCI for you, though.
That's awesome.
Yeah. A lot of cool experiences.
So, Beth, earlier on in the show, you talked about your radio station. Do you want to let everybody know what your radio show is?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'd love to. We now are on vidi.space, which is basically internet TV, versus cable, I guess you could say. It's ran by Nick Groff and Elizabeth Saint. And Charlotte and I started a radio show called Girls versus Ghosts. And we are now on Vidi Space every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. But if you get on Facebook and follow Vidi, V-I-D-I, Space, Inc., I-N-C, you can catch us live. We're free content, so you don't have to subscribe to the actual Vidi Space, but we're completely free. You can catch us there. You can catch us on Vidi Space on Periscope, and that's every Tuesday at 9 p.m. And we have all kinds of amazing guests planned to come on. Those that are in the paranormal world that know paranormal, we've got Johnny Hauser and Ken Boggle. Nick Groff will be on. Elizabeth Saint will be coming up, but it's a lot of fun.
You just had Pam on there too, right?
We did Pam on Blog Talk. She was our finale on our Blog Talk channel. And yeah, she did not want to be on video. So we made her our finale on Blog Talk, and we had another guest on that night. We did back-to-back shows last night.
You didn't have a problem being on TV on Destination America.
I know.
Well, on video there'd have to be a fireplace involved.
Oh, true.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. But no, it's a lot of fun. If you guys are interested, or anybody listening is interested, and go to vidi.space. It's not .com or .net, it's .space. And subscribe. It's cheap. There's hardly anything to it. And if you use the coupon code GVG, like Girls versus Ghost, GVG 2018, then you get 50% off your first month. And there's a lot of awesome content. Johnny Hauser's on there, where he goes into locations completely alone, utterly alone, investigates by himself live, like you're watching him at that moment live. That's really awesome.
Chad's on there too, right?
Chad is on there too. Yep. Chad's on there with his badass celebrity ghost hunt, and tarot date with Ken Boggle. We have an occult collector on there. There's a family that owns the world's largest collection of Ouija boards, and they take you through the house. It's called the House of Shrek. On there, Within These Walls with Dan Klass, who owns the Hinsdale House. There's documentaries and stuff. There's film making. There's all kinds of stuff. The cryptid space, the documentary space. There's a music space. There's all kinds of spaces. But we're under the haunted space, under the series section. So check us out. We're a lot of fun.
Awesome. Check her out.
Yes.
Check all of it out.
Yes. We got to give a shout out to Charlotte too.
Yes. She's on the road.
Is she on the road?
Yeah, she's driving.
Well, we love you, Charlotte.
Charlotte, don't stop at the exit.
Yeah, no
keep driving. Don't go near the light.
Don't go near the Old South.
Don't go near the Old South.
There was a lady driving down the road. She saw the Old South and decided,
hell no, I'm leaving.
That's right. I ain't going in that place.
Bitches, no way.
Now, Beth and I actually, for the first time in a long time, get to work together this weekend out at Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio. And it is not sold out yet. I do. It's not sold out, right? I
It is
believe
not.
It's not.
No,
So
it is not
tickets
sold
are
out
still
yet.
available.
Yeah, I would say I think there's like 10 tickets left, 10, 15 tickets.
Yeah,
So,
something. What is it, like 100, 110 or whatever that they do the most?
yes, 100.
Well, if you guys want to hang out with Beth and I this weekend, it's only a Friday night event this Friday.
Yeah.
Come out
Take the
and
time
see
out.
us.
Come hang with us, come investigate with us. We're a lot of fun. We have a lot of laughs. And I'm excited. I'm super excited to investigate with you again. I freaking miss you.
I know. I miss you too. I haven't got to go anywhere in the last couple months. Been moving and everything else,
Yeah.
so I'm ready to get back in the saddle.
Ew. Yeehaw, motherfuckers.
We need to get the whole group back together. That was fun as hell.
I know
Mhm.
Missouri was a blast when we were all there.
Yes, it was.
That
It
was
was
a
a
lot
lot
of
of fun.
people, though. That was
Oh my God, was that a lot of people?
It changed, though, Bill. From the first event in November, could you feel the difference from November's event to March? Like, could you tell, like, it was almost like tension, or it was almost like something strange, something weird, something different.
Okay, when we got there, I was taking a new person around to show her the buildings and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to walk in building 4, and I can't remember the lady's name, but she unlocked the gate, and I said, "Can I go in first?"
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So I did my normal, first time in, knock on the door, make sure they
Right.
know we're coming in. I opened the door, and it felt like somebody gave me a hug. I couldn't
Really?
breathe. It was just like it was a friendly hug, like, "Hey, you're back." And that was the one and only time I felt comfortable. And I love building 4.
kind of like
for
Randolph.
But after that, it was like I didn't feel, for the rest of the time, did not feel comfortable being in 4 at all.
Yeah. Because I was in 4 the whole
Yep.
freaking weekend that trip, wasn't I?
Where was
Yeah.
I?
You
You
were
Nine
were at
building
Ohio.
five?
no, you were
at
in building
Ohio.
4.
Oh, that was the weekend I wasn't there. I thought you guys
Yeah.
were talking about the weekend we were all there.
No, that weekend you were in, you did a Ohio State Reformatory.
That's right. With
yeah,
Ann and Staniel.
Yes. And out to Staniel. And shout out
Is it
to Ann.
Is it just you two this weekend, or is there anybody else with you?
No, it's me, Shannon, Ann, and
Ashley,
Ashley Brennan.
which we've had on the show.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
Oh,
we've
yes.
had her on here.
Awesome.
Her and another friend of hers from Keystone
Oh,
Paranormal.
that's right. You told me about that with the closet.
Yeah,
The
I'm
closet.
leaving.
Yeah,
I'm
she
not
heard a
staying.
knock in Ashley's closet. Not to mention we're listening to her turtle tank on and off. Yeah, and it's like the filter sounds or something. I don't know what it was, but yeah, she heard a knock or something in the closet, and she freaking bolted. She wasn't even on the rest of the show. She's like, "Got out."
What did she say? She goes, "Hey, I was supposed to stay here tonight, but hell no, goodbye."
Oh my god, hilarious. That's funny. I
can't
love
believe it's been
Ashley
an hour.
Brennan.
Is it? Oh my God.
Yeah, we're getting poked to wrap it up.
Oh,
Oh.
But
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Beth, thanks for
Yes,
jumping on
Beth,
here
thank
with
you,
us
thank
tonight,
you.
and can't wait to work with you Friday.
You
And
guys
then,
be safe this weekend.
Always.
Whatever.
I get to play at the Beatty House, so.
Yeah, have fun with that too. Be careful.
Oh yeah. All
right, Bill.
Hey everybody, we want to thank you guys for listening in. Henry, thank you guys very much for out there. You guys that are serving overseas and listening in, I'm glad you guys are here. Keep it safe. Shannon, you're awesome as always.
You're awesome.
Beth, thank you very much for coming on. You can come back
Absolutely.
anytime you want to.
Love you guys.
Love you too. Hey guys, keep it safe, keep it real, and we'll see you in the dark.
Good night.
Bye.